It's a dance song to get down with. About 6 feet under. Get there.
Ooh, I love this song.
Everybody should try it, get dead. Get high, don't buy it. Everybody's gonna buy it, get dead. Sooner or later, everybody's gotta do it. Get the hang now, and I'll walk you through it.
The next one we're going to talk about is this movie called The Initiation of Sarah. Now this movie essentially was sort of a Carrie ripoff. There's another movie called The Spell that's a Carrie ripoff too. That's another made-for-TV movie around the time. But this movie has Morgan Fairchild in it. So let's see. The Initiation of Sarah was directed by a guy named Robert Day, who is most known for a bunch of Tarzan films, like early on, and he directed a movie called The Quick and the Dead in 1987. I think that was his last film. It's only what's listed anyway. One of his later films, regardless. The story, though, however, and early drafts of the screenplay were written by Tom Holland, who's responsible for the Chucky films and Fright Night, you know, classic horror stuff. Actually, there's an interview with him on this disc right here where he talks about The Initiation of Sarah, in his early work in TV. This movie's got Morgan Fairchild in it, a girl named Kay Benz, who plays the main character Sarah. Shelley Winters is in it, which is awesome, and she plays a great character. She's the house mother of the sorority that the main character ends up being in. And Robert Hayes from Airplane, from those movies, from the Airplane movies. He's done a lot of other stuff, but I remember him from the Airplane movies. This aired on ABC, which for me would have been Channel 12, on February 6th, 1978. So we're still in the 70s here. This is 78. This movie's a lot of fun. It's an obvious Carrie ripoff to a certain degree, but it also takes a lot from like sorority movies. So it kind of, to me, feels like, although it came out before, movies like The House on Sorority Row and stuff like that, the 80s slasher film. It came out before that, but this is all about, you know, college girls and like this sorority rivalry, and you've got two sisters, one's in the popular sorority and one's in kind of like what's supposed to be like, I don't know, the sorority that where all the girls that aren't that popular end up in. But what's weird about that is the house mother, Shelley Winters, she's just kind of wacky, but she's into witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. And she realizes that this girl who becomes Sarah, who gets into her, sorority, is got telekinetic powers. And so they're going to use these telekinetic powers for her advantage so that she can do something. I don't know. A lot of these movies you'll find that the scripts have a lot of holes in them. And some of the storylines, you just like, what? Huh? It's like crazy. And it just kind of goes off the rails. But this particular film, it's a lot of fun to watch. And this is an Arrow release that came out a couple years ago. And it's a brand new transfer. It's really interesting that a lot of these movies are getting like high definition transfers and getting re-released because people remember them, I guess, you know. Next one we're going to talk about is this one right here. This movie aired on television, actually, okay, as Stranger in Our House. However, all the home video versions are Summer of Fear. It's directed by Wes Craven, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Last House on the Left, like famous horror film director, Scream. It was based on a book by Louise Duncan, who wrote a lot of like young adult novels, horror, like thriller type stuff. And this, yet again, has got Linda Blair in it. It's got an actress named Lee Purcell, and it's got a really early role by Fran Drescher, which is kind of cool. She plays like Linda Blair's friend, but she's wicked young in this movie. But this movie, freaking Wes Craven, one of his first films actually, because he did a couple of made-for-TV movies as well. And this movie's a lot of fun, okay? It's basically about, I don't know, it's sort of a witchcraft story about this girl. Oh, did I say when it aired? This movie aired on NBC, which to me would have been Channel 10, on October 31st, 1978. So this was a Halloween feature. This aired on Halloween. And it's basically about this girl who's got powers, who goes to live with her, I think her parents die or something. I haven't seen it in a while, but I think her parents die, and she goes to live with like other family members, and weird stuff starts happening, and you start to find out that this girl's got powers, and I don't know, it turns into this weird battle of like evil powers between her and somebody else in the film. I don't want to give this whole movie away. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun movie to watch. A Stranger in the House. It's another Linda Blair one. If you're so inclined, definitely check out Summer of Fear. Another Linda Blair made-for-TV movie, classic, based on a Louise Duncan novel. So, check that one out. This is one of my personal favorites, and it's a lot of people's personal favorites. Dark Night of the Scarecrow, okay? Now, this movie came out in 1981. It was directed by a guy named Frank D. Falletta. Now, Frank D. Falletta was the author of Audrey Rose, The Entity. Like, he actually wrote those books. So I guess they figured this guy was a suspense, creepy author. He could make a cool, creepy TV movie, which he did, because this movie is awesome. The screenplay by a guy named J.D. Fagelson. I guess he's the one who's kind of like the keeper of this movie now. Like, he does conventions and talks about the movie, and he made a sequel, which I haven't seen, but I haven't heard much about it. I don't even really know. But this movie is really cool. It stars Larry Drake from L.A. Law, Charles Durning, Tanya Crowe, Jocelyn Brando, and Lane Smith. I don't know some of the actors, but I mean, I know them from this movie. But this aired on CBS, which was Channel 6, on October 24th, 1981, okay? I don't think I saw this movie on TV, because I saw this movie in high school when I was getting older. But I didn't see this movie on actual TV when I was a kid. But this movie was creepy, man. This movie is known for being really creepy, cool, made-for-TV film. Basically, it's all about this character named Bubba, who's sort of a mentally challenged man who lives in this town. And he's friends with this little girl that lives in the town, okay? And, you know, while they're out playing one day, she ends up getting attacked by a dog because she does something stupid. And he brings her dead body, well, what he thought was her dead body, she actually survives, but he brings her back to her mother, and the locals find out about it, and they think because he's not right in the head that he did something awful to the little girl. And so this band of locals decides that they're going to take revenge on this guy. And he plays this game where he hides in the cornfield dressed up as a scarecrow. So the mother tells him to go hide in the cornfield because people are coming to get him. And they basically go out and they kill him while he's in the cornfield dressed up as the scarecrow. And then for the rest of the movie, you get this creepy scarecrow showing up at night, killing off these random characters. It's a revenge movie in that way. But it's this weird supernatural revenge movie because it's got kind of this supernatural thing going on with it. And yeah, it's cool. It's a very, very cool movie, and it's really creepy. And I mean, this transcends the made-for-TV genre though, because this is just an awesome movie. However, this was a made-for-television movie from the early 80s, so there you go, right? But no, Dark Night of the Scarecrow, definitely worth checking out. One of my favorites. I saw this movie on video. I used to show it on 56 when I was a kid, and a friend of mine, my buddy Peter Lambert, who's I've been talked about in other videos, we used to watch tons of horror movies. He turned me on to this movie because his mom recorded it off of UHF, and we watched it, and I've always been a fan of this movie. It was hard to find for many years, but now you can get, VCI has put out this Blu-ray. They got a 4K restoration coming out of it too, which I'm excited to get. But yeah, Dark Night of the Scarecrow, awesome classic horror movie. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about right now. This next movie, this is a classic, and I did see this movie when it aired on TV. This movie is called The Day After, okay? This movie was very famous because it was one of the first movies made about like a nuclear holocaust, like what happened if there was a nuclear war and the bombs were dropped. Then all of a sudden, you know, how it would affect people, nuclear fallout, all that kind of stuff. They actually showed this movie, like government showed this movie to other countries to try to stop like the nuclear arms thing and all that. It's, you know, but who knows? People still have nuclear missiles now, so didn't do that much, I guess. But this film, The Day After, okay, was directed by Nicholas Meyer. Nicholas Meyer is known for directing Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. That's what he's most, like, that's what I know him from anyway. It's got Jason Robards in it, JoBeth Williams, Steve Guttenberg from the Police Academy movies and Short Circuit and all those movies. John Lithgow, who's been in a ton of stuff. John Lithgow's classic. I mean, he's been in like movies like Footloose, The Manhattan Project. He had his own TV show for a while. I think Third Rock from the Sun, I think was the name of the TV show. This aired on ABC, which to me would have been Channel 12, November 20th, 1983. So I know where I was on November 20th, 1983. I was sitting in my living room watching this devastation, basically. They originally was going to be a two-part movie, but it ended up only being a one-night thing because the filmmaker basically said he didn't think people would turn into night 2 of the apocalypse, basically, because this movie is dark. I mean, it's about a bunch of people who live in this small like town. It kind of shows different areas, but and how they're affected by a nuclear disaster, which is like the world comes to an end. And it's a depressing, dark movie, and this affected a lot of people. This was a big deal when it came out, and this was a made-for-television film yet again. Just this kind of, but this movie has a budget, and it's always been kind of a cult film. And it comes out here and there again. Apparently this is out of print because if you go on Amazon looking for it, it's like $80 already. But yeah, The Day After, if you want to see what a nuclear disaster could be like, this movie is a depressing little view of that. So I guess this is science fiction drama. I don't know. But yeah, terrifying little made-for-TV movie that I actually saw when it aired. So there you go. All right, now we're on our last one here, the last one of the 10 that I picked. This is another movie that I actually saw when it aired on TV, and I remember loving this film. This movie's called The Midnight Hour, okay? This one, The Midnight Hour, was directed by a guy named Jack Bender, okay? Jack Bender, I can't remember what Jack Bender is known for. Jack Bender. Jack Bender is known for Child's Play 3. In the horror community. That's what he's known for. He's done some horror related stuff and some TV stuff, and he directed this movie in 1985, okay? It's got Shari Belafonte-Harper in it, LeVar Burton of like Reading Rainbow and Star Trek and all that stuff. Dick Van Patten has a role as one of the parents. Kurtwood Smith is listed in this. Kurtwood Smith is That 70's Show, the dad on that show, Red on That 70's Show. But this aired on ABC, which for me would have been Channel 12, on November 1st, 1985, okay? And what this movie's most notable for is a sequence, this musical dance number with a bunch of zombies. It's called Get Dead, and it, you know, Shari Belafonte-Harper sings it, and it's kind of a ripoff of Thriller, because Thriller was big at the time, so they had this big dance number at a party that's like Thriller. Like the makeup looks an awful lot like Thriller, actually. The zombie makeup. They did pretty good effects in this.
It's a dance song to get down with. About 6 feet under. Get dead.
Ooh, I love this song. Everybody's gonna buy it, get dead. Sooner or later, everybody's gotta do it. So get the hang now, and I'll walk you through it. Move real slow like you're on the moon. Just watch me close, you'll get it soon. Cross on over to the other side, all your troubles will be over. So believe me when I say that I'm dead, you're dying. Everybody should try it, get dead. Get high, don't fight it. Everybody's gonna buy it, get dead. I'm dead, you're dying. Everybody should try it, get dead. Get high, don't fight it. Everybody's gonna buy it, get dead. I'm dead, you're dying. Everybody should try it, get dead. I'm dead, you're dying. Everybody should try it, get dead.
Basically, it's about these kids who live in this small town, and they decide on Halloween night they're going to steal these costumes from a wax museum. And basically, it's like they're cursed. And by doing this, because they read this scroll that they find, it brings all these like zombies and dead people back to life, and they all, you know, wreak havoc in the town. But they don't really, nobody gets hurt or killed or anything like that. It's just these zombies go out and party and have fun. And it's kind of a silly movie, and it's just a fun movie, you know. I always enjoyed this movie. This is one of those, I used to have this recorded off of television because I actually watched this the night that it aired as well. Back in, what do we say it was? November 1st, 1985. I was sitting in my house watching The Midnight Hour, which I watched over and over again from an old VHS copy that I had. But yeah, so this movie's a lot of fun. It's campy, goofy, fun horror. Like, this is very, very typical, like, Halloween horror. Like, it's fun. Hocus pocus type of stuff, you know? So yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, this is definitely worth checking out. I don't know how easy this movie is to even find anymore. I think you can find it on some streaming services, though. I think it might be on, like, Shout Factory's, like, streaming thing. I'm not sure. You'd have to look for it, but Midnight Hour. So there you have it. There's 10 classic made-for-TV movies from the 70s and the 80s. I mean, I've always been a big fan of these movies, and I hope maybe I turned some of you on to some of this stuff. Maybe I turned some of you off from some of this stuff. But these movies can be a lot of fun, and there's a lot of them out there. So you do have to sift through a lot of garbage if you're trying to find good ones. And I could probably make a whole other episode, another 10 classic ones that are actually worth watching. And maybe I will at some point, who knows. But right now, there you are, 10. So if you like this kind of content, like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing one episode of the SFX Loop a month because I want to put a little more effort into these, make these a little bit more fun. And so, yeah, each month you're going to get one SFX Loop. Most of the month is going to be the effects loop, which is guitar and amp and guitar gear, you know, music related stuff. But I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you found something cool that you want to check out. That's awesome. I hope so. But anyway, my name is Jay Byrne. This has been the SFX Loop. See you next time.